Welcome back to AM Northwest. Their first book was a huge success. Now they're back with another true-life NCIS thriller. Ghosts of Panama tells the story of agents working the most dangerous beat in the world, Panama in the late 80s, under the rule of dictator Manuel Noriega. Here to share more, we welcome authors Mark Harmon and Leon Carroll Jr. Good to have you both with us. I want to talk about first your relationship for the two of you. And Leon, you're a retired NCIS. You actually worked in Panama during this time. Talk to me, first of all, Mark, talk to me about your connection, because you two have been known each other for 20 years, worked together 20 years.
When I first got to the show, the first special agent I met, or one of the first I met, was Leon Carroll. And he was assigned to the show. He was just recently retired, and he was my guy every day. I would talk to him and bother him every day about the right way or the correct way or the way he might choose to do something, and pick his brain to try to build the character. And at the same time, I was getting educated about this agency that I knew very little about, and the opportunity to tell the real stories of this agency and the agents who do that work always was something we discussed and now have an opportunity to do, and that's been rewarding, to be able to allow those people to speak who have never been asked, and in some cases not talked about it.
Absolutely. Leon, first, thank you for your service.
Thank you for appreciating it.
You were in Panama. Tell me, I understand that this is a promise kept for you doing this episode.
That's exactly right. In 1991, I came in about 13 months after Operation Just Cause, and I was reading through the case files of what had happened in our agency's participation, which I didn't know anything about. I just transferred from Los Angeles, short notice, and got down there and read this, and I said, you know, this is something that I've heard before, and it dawned on me that what was in that report is what George Herbert Walker Bush had said when he announced the invasion of Panama. Wow. And so I said, if I ever get a chance to tell this story of what these guys did, I was going to do it. And about 30 years later, we were able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So promise kept. Mark, tell me about this story. You really do. You follow the story of Special Agent Rick Yell. Tell me about him.
Well, the intriguing part of that is to be able to actually talk to Rick Yell about it,
yeah,
and allow him to speak about it, which he now can. Certainly, his friendship with Leon had something to do with that, and so the source of that comes via Leon and his interpretation of what his time there was and what this case was, other than what you think you know. Obviously, I know about Operation Just Cause from history and Manuel Noriega to a degree, but this book opens up a whole other chapter of that, and certainly a story that I think most don't know. And that's what we intend to do with these books, is give voice to these cases and to this history. This has been interesting because the first book was all research, and this wasn't that at all. This was talking to the individuals who were actually there, including Leon.
When you think back, Leon, on your time in Panama, what stands out to you?
You know, the main thing that stands out to me were the people, not just the people that I work with, but also the people of Panama. Very, very, really nice people. And they were going through a time in the 80s where things weren't really good for them. And actually, my wife and I are going to go back in March of 2025, and I know it's going to be a different country than what she saw in from 91 to 93.
Mark, what does your relationship with Leon mean to you?
A lot. He was my guy every day on this show. I was introduced to him at a certain point, and it never didn't occur to me to try to pick his brain and talk to him as much as I can to try to build a character I was asked to play. Different actors deal with that different ways, but there just wasn't a day that I can remember that we didn't discuss the way he might choose to do something in the real life of this job that I could use and in some cases steal for the character, and that's kind of where our bond started. But we always talked about trying to get back to telling the real stories. Yeah, and that's what this opportunity has provided, and that's been not only intriguing and educational, but in some ways rewarding, and also a promise kept to a degree.
A promise kept to Leon?
Yeah.
Leon, how's that make you feel? I see you smiling there.
Yes, you know, same thing. I mean, Mark's been one of the best leaders I've ever worked with. He's just great on set with the cast, crew, visitors, guests. We've had thousands of, you know, people come through, probably 1,500 special agents, and they all think that they're Leroy Jethro Gibbs, or they would like to be. and so it's just been a pleasure to work with Mark and provide this opportunity, which, you know, I never thought would happen. I never thought there'd even be a TV show about the agency, and I think most of our personnel felt the same way. To have it be a hit, that's a great thing. 22 seasons, you know, out of anybody's imagination. So I appreciate that, and the opportunity to go back and write books, and you know, there's so many more stories that can be told, and I hope we get a chance to do that.
Speaking of which, so this is book number 2. So will there be a 3 and a 4?
But we're looking at that, and hopefully evaluate what happens with this book. But like I said, we have many, many more stories to tell.
Right. Thank you both so much. We want to tell everyone Ghosts of Panama is available now everywhere you get your books. Thank you, Mark and Leon. Thank you both so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.